I will be talking about hand fractures and dislocations. Hand is made up of many bones that make up the wrist and fingers move. A fracture, that is a break in the continuity of the bone, occurs when enough force is applied to the bone. It leads to pain, swelling, stiffness, and decreased use of that part. As you know, the carpal bones starting from the distal lobe, lateral to medial are trapezium, trapezoid, capitate, hamate, pisiform, scaphoid, lunate, triquetrum. Scaphoid fracture is the most common carpal fracture due to fall on the outstretched hand leads to compression, forceful wrist hyperextension and radial deviation, that is fall on the outstretched hand, common mechanism of injury. The signs or symptoms are pain, point tenderness or the anatomical snuff box. You remember from the anatomy, swelling, numbness, loss of motion of the wrist and finger flexion because it is responsible for the motion. The treatment is immobilization for 6 to 12 weeks commonly in a scaphoid cast. Operative intervention may be indicated if scaphoid fracture goes in non-union even after 4 months of immobilization or there is a lot of displacement. This is a photo which is showing a scaphoid fracture due to fall on the outstretched hand. The parts of the scaphoid bone, as you know, the proximal pole, the waist, the distal body, and the tuberosity. So basically, the blood supply comes from distal to proximal. So commonly in proximal bone fractures can get complicated by avascular necrosis. They can be associated with lunate dislocation because you can see that the capitate lunate and the radius are in the same line in the lateral X-ray. But if lunate is dislocated, the lunate is volarly seen in lunate dislocation. While there is a perilunate dislocation where the lunate remains in place, but the other carpals are displaced. So this is a perilunate dislocation. This is commonly associated with scaphoid fractures. The treatment of scaphoid fractures is a scaphoid cast, which is given in this position of the hand, which is the functional position, slight dorsiflexion of the wrist and flexion of the metacarpophalangeal joint and interphalangeal joints. So it extends from below the elbow till the metacarpal heads and to the thumb also till the interphalangeal joint. So this is the common treatment. If it is needs surgery, it is usually with a Herbert screw, which you can see a multiple threaded screw put into the scaphoid bone, either by after close reduction or open reduction. The X-ray is showing the scaphoid fracture. Here also one important thing is immediately after fall, the fracture may not be visible, but after 2 weeks, if you take the X-ray, you are better able to visualize it. So till then time you can immobilize it. Another second most common fracture of the carpals is a triquetral fracture, which is also again due to extreme dorsiflexion and direct blow onto the bone. The signs and symptoms and the tenderness is over the bone. The treatment for a smaller chip fracture is 2 to 3 weeks of immobilization, and afterwards range of motion exercises are started once symptoms decrease. When there is a body fracture and it is minimally displaced, again cast immobilization for 4 to 6 weeks and range of motion exercises will be enough. But if it is displaced fracture, then again open reduction and internal fixation may be done with either screw or K-wires. So as you can see, this triquetrum fracture, which is a magnified view in the right hand side. Hamate fracture is usually seen in individuals who use racket, baseball bat or golf. Mechanism is fall on the outstretched hand again while holding an object, and the object lands between the ground and ulnar side of the palm. So basically the hamate is on the ulnar side of the palm. So when you fall on that side, the fracture occurs. While gripping the handle of a racket, bat or golf club with an abnormal swing, again abnormal pressure over the hamate can lead to fracture, which can lead to pain and loss of grip strength. Treatment is again immobilization with cast for 6 weeks and range of motion exercises after the cast is removed. Displaced fracture of the hamate hook or displace hamate body. Basically, hamate has two parts, a body and a hook. So the anatomy needs to be restored. And again here, as you know that ulnar nerve is in common with the hook of the hamate, is a relation. So it can lead to ulnar nerve injury. So anatomical restoration is very important for hamate fracture. Metacarpal fractures are relatively common fractures which constitute 30 to 40% of hand fractures. They are either due to direct blow, compression force, or twisting injury, which leads to pain and swelling over the metacarpal and loss of range of motion and grip strength. Treatment is rest, ice, compression, and elevation, that is rise. They are immobilized in cast for 4 to 6 weeks. Initially, they can be immobilized in slab, but it has to be converted to cast later on, wherein the slight flexion is kept. It is on X-ray you can see where exactly is the fracture, because it can occur in the metacarpal head, it can occur in the neck, it can occur in the shaft, or it can occur at the base. So treatment depends on the location of the fracture. So the treatment for operative treatment, it is either plate and screw fixation as in the right side for comminuted metacarpal shaft fracture, but it has to be open reduced here. For closed, you can do a K-wire fixation with cross K-wires as it is shown in the middle X-ray. On the left side X-ray, where there is a comminuted fracture, such sort of fixation is not possible. Spanning with the external fixator can be of help. Phalangeal fractures occurred at the base, neck, or shaft or head of the phalanx, like a metacarpal, due to direct trauma during sports, or sometimes crush injuries to the distal phalanx are also common and can result in nail trauma and open fractures. Signs and symptoms are pain, swelling, and loss of motion and grip strength. Treatment is against immobilization of the proximal and distal interphalangeal joint. For proximal fracture, splints needs to be longer and immobilize the metacarpophalangeal joint and the wrist. So immobilization, one joint proximal and one joint distal to the fracture is essential. Surgical treatment, when there is an instability and there is a lot of displacement, sometimes the rotation problems occur. So it has to be sometimes open reduced. So these are the X-rays which shows a neck of the phalanx fracture on the top. It shows a fracture of the distal phalanx tip and the shaft, another X-ray. On the lateral view, it shows the shaft of the phalanx fracture. So it depends where the fracture is, and it has to be treatment accordingly. So basically, as I told that we have to give ice immediately after trauma or compression and immobilize in splint or brace and give analgesics. These will limit the pain, limit the swelling, and restrict the movements. Afterwards, passive range of motion is started. Afterwards, active and active assisted range of motion are started. As you all know that fractures in the hand lead to a lot of stiffness. So physiotherapy is important part of the treatment. Another thing is the dislocation of the wrist, wherein a surface of the wrist joint uh, leads due to direct or indirect trauma leads to displacement, that is loss of the articulating surfaces contact. Mechanism is fall on the outstretch hand commonly or sports injury, which leads to pain, swelling, limitation of movement, and muscle spasm. Localized tenderness over the wrist or the dorsoradial aspect is commonly seen. Crepitus or a click with radial or ulnar deviation is also felt. The decrease in the grip strength occurs because of the dislocation of the wrist. So it has to be reduced, either closed or open, and maybe some fixator has to be applied, and or plaster has to be applied. This is an image which is showing common dislocation associated with dislocation of the triquetral bone and dislocation of the ulnar bone. So closed or open reduction and fixator spanning or plaster is to be applied to prevent redislocation. A specific type of fractures are the metacarpal. One fracture is a Bennett's fracture, which is intra-articular fracture of the base of the first metacarpal and shaft of the metacarpal dislocated laterally by the abductor pollicis longus. See the image, you can see here the attachment of the base. While the medial base is not displaced, it remains in place because it is attached by the anterior oblique ligament. So This fracture can be reduced with slight traction and slight adduction, but it will displace again. So it requires fixation with K wires. If it is a old injury, it might require open reduction and then fixation with K wires. Another fracture is Y-shaped intra-articular fracture of the base of the first metacarpal is called as Rolando's fracture. If it is minimally displaced, plaster can be given, but if it is grossly displaced, again K-wire fixation has to be done. Another specific injuries for the phalanx are the avulsion of the FDP, that is flexor digitorum profundus insertion on the distal phalanx. As you know, flexor digitorum profundus inserts on the distal phalanx, while the flexor digitorum superficialis inserts on the middle phalanx. So if there is an avulsion, that is it, where the flexor digitorum profundus attaches on the distal phalanx, it pulls off a chip of the bone. So it is commonly seen in condition called a Jersey's finger. Mallet finger is injury to the extensor mechanism of the DIP joint, because the DIP slip which attaches on the distal phalanx leads to avulsion injury. That is called as a mallet fracture. So here you have to reduce the fracture and do splinting. Sometimes that is not enough. You will have to do percutaneous fixation also. Sometimes close reduction doesn't come, then open reduction internal fixation may be required. Other common injuries are the dislocations, which commonly include the metacarpophalangeal dislocation or interphalangeal dislocations. Kaplan's dislocation is used for metacarpophalangeal dislocation of the index finger. It is a complex irreducible dorsal dislocation due to the buttonholing of the metacarpal head into the palm. So what happens here is that through a narrow space it buttonholes into the palm, and after repeated attempts at close reduction it will not come, because it is prevented from going to normal position by the adjacent structures. So it requires open reduction, usually by a volar approach, wherein you cut the flexor plate and then reduce it, and then it is immobilized for 3 to 4 weeks with K-wire. Sometimes dorsal approach is also used for open reduction and K-wire fixation. Thank you. These are the common injuries. Thanks.